Hello, it's Graham from Magic Box in Newcastle. I just thought I'd take a quick opportunity to talk to you about a product that we are quite excited about here at Magic Box. It's not mega new, but it's something I don't think many people have really looked at. And it's this, it's Airborne. And it's a slightly new version. It's come from Taiwan, and it's by Suma. And in my opinion, it's the best Airborne on the market at the minute, and I'm going to tell you why. So first of all, this is the actual gimmick here. I'm going to tell you the pros and cons of it in a moment and show you some of the other Airbornes which we've stocked over the years, and tell you why we think this one is better. So first of all, if Tom backs off a little bit, I'll actually just quickly perform it and show you how easy this is to perform. It's a super easy to perform Airborne. First of all, you could even probably do this blindfolded. It's really, really easy to do. I literally think anybody could do this version of Airborne. Cheers. So that is basically a performance, a very basic performance of Airborne. So some pros to this. This has got massive pros in my opinion. The first big pro for me is that it's in a water bottle. Now it does also come in a Coke bottle as well. We do sell both. Now the reason that I prefer the water bottle is pretty straightforward and pretty simple really. The water bottle, you can just go to a normal tap and fill it with water. So if you get to a gig, there's going to be a tap somewhere which you can fill with water. However, you don't even have to do that, and I'll tell you why in a second. With the Coke bottle, what you're going to have to do is, you're going to have another bottle of Coke or a can of Coke or something that looks like Coke. It might be cold tea or something like that. And you're going to have to get a funnel, put the funnel in, and then fill it with that liquid. All right. So that's the main problem with using a Coke. A lot of the other versions on the market don't come in a water bottle either. They all come in these, which I'll come back to in a second, cans or bottles or whatever it may be. Then there's the universal versions as well. So the fact that this is just in a water bottle makes it 100% better for me. You can just fill it with water. However, what makes this even better and different from all the other versions that I've come across is the first thing you can do is you can actually recap the bottle. So this lid goes on, it's a regular bottle now, and now that's sealed. So you could actually set that up at home, and that is now a sealed bottle. So this could now go in your close-up case, your cabaret case, your kids' performance case, and it's ready to go straight out the box. You don't have to go to the gig and then find a tap and fill it up, which is what I've always done with my old version. Again, which I'll come on to in a second. So it's a massive pro, the fact you can seal this. The glass is very well made. There is other versions on the market, and I'm going to show you some of those now. This is the version that I've used for years and years and years. And I'm probably going to give away the gimmick here a little, but I'm going to try not to. But this is the original Magic version, which I've used for years and years. I didn't use a Coke can, it was a 7-Up can or a Sprite can. The glass is made very similar to this one, except this is a lot heavier. So the glass from Mac was much, much heavier than the new one from Suma. Now what that allows you to do is pour a lot more liquid into the glass. With the Mac Magic one, when you actually did the pour, you could only let it pour a certain amount before you'd have to stop. Otherwise, this glass would drop on the floor and break, or the liquid would go all over the place. You don't have to worry about that with this because the glass is so light. You can I've tested this. You can actually fill the glass pretty much to the top before it'll overflow before it'll actually come off the gimmick, which is really, really nice. The glass looks normal as well. I mean, I think that looks okay as well. I think that looks pretty good, but it's quite heavy glass. It uses a magnet version, a magnet attachment. So the magnet sticks into the middle of the glass, and the magnet is in the top of the bottle, which is all hidden away. I'll let Tom show you the gimmick here. I shouldn't really do this, but I did contact Suma and ask them for permission to do this. So that's the actual gimmick. The other great thing about this is, I'll mention while Tom was looking, is the flow rate of the liquid is really been designed well. On some of the old ones, especially this one in particular, the flow rate, I'm not going to tell you whose this is, but the flow rate isn't controlled, so it's just an open can. Now what that means is when you're pouring the liquid, it's determined by you how much you tip the can. Now you tip it too little, you'll see the gimmick. You tip it too much, the liquid gulps out far too fast, and then what happens is the glass gets full too quick and you can't float it for very long. So you've got to really just get it right, and it's down to you and your control of your hand, which is difficult sometimes when you're in a performance situation. This, you don't have to worry about that. All the thought of that and they've got it perfect. The hole is the perfect size for pouring the liquid. So you don't have to worry about how far up or down you're tipping the bottle, because it'll never tip more than what you actually need. It'll always tip the correct amount into the bottle. So you don't have to worry about that. So that is taken care of. The flow rate, really big plus in my opinion. The other great thing about this is the retraction of the Gimmick is very, very fast. It's almost instant, so it's much easier to hide the Gimmick at the end of the pour. This was the problem with this version. So when you were actually pouring this, this was the version I used to use. At the end of the thing, you would pull that away, and A, the magnet is so big that it was very easy to spot, and B, that happens a lot, is it doesn't retract the Gimmick into here. You have to sort of shake the can around like this to try and retract the Gimmick. And of course the Gimmick is actually visible here as well. I mean, yeah, you do get around that obviously when you actually do the pour. I would pull it away like this and hide the Gimmick behind the can as I was taking a drink, but again, it wasn't ideal. And then you would shake it to get the Gimmick back in. You don't really want to have to be doing that, and you don't have to do that with this version. The other good thing about it is there's nothing visible on top of the bottle, so the bottle looks normal even from even fairly close up. You can't see anything sticking out. There is other versions on the market where there's a Gimmick which sits on top of the bottle. I'm not going to get the Gimmick out or show you the manufacturer, but the Gimmick sits on top of the bottle almost like a pourer, and you can see the Gimmick sticking up. This is totally invisible, and the fact you can recap the bottle as well. Other versions on the market use the dreaded hook system, likes of this one here. So this one uses a little fishing hook, which I don't know if Tom can just show you, instead of a magnet. Again, this is another version that we've got in, or we've had in. It uses a little fishing hook. Again, I used to use this back in the day. Lots of problems with this. Linking it onto the glass was always a bit of a pain, as you can see even just here. So imagine doing this in performance as you're performing, then you'd let this go, and sometimes that can happen as well. So sometimes it wouldn't stay centered. You have to make sure you really bang on with this to get it in the right position to do the float. And then secondly, when you go to actually remove the Gimmick from the glass, this would sometimes happen. It would get stuck because you didn't know, the glass would spin around like this, so you didn't know where to unhook it from. So that was a downfall of that one. So what I think he's done here is he's actually took some of the best bits of some of the other Airbornes that are currently out there and make, in my opinion, the perfect Airborne. That's why he's called it the perfect Airborne. I totally agree with him. If it was me and I was going to get this, I have bought one of these myself. I'm using the Perrier one, just because you can fill it with water. We do also have the Coke, if you prefer the Coke version, which is fine. Like I say, you will have to fill that with some sort of liquid, but again, because you can cap the bottle, it means you could do this at home. Downfalls of this, it's not the cheapest version, but then again, it's only about £10 more than the old Mac Magic one, which is the one we used to sell. That was the best one at the time. This one's far better. What else can I tell you? Oh yeah, sorry, the magnet setup is much better than the Mac one. You'll see the magnet is much smaller, so it's a tiny little magnet in there. When you've got this bottle full, you could probably do the pour 2 or 3 times. So if you're doing like 3 gigs in a day, you wouldn't have to go and refill the bottle. Just put the cap back on, you're ready to go. I've done it twice already in this video, and I'm pretty confident I could do it again if I wanted to. Boom, there we go. Oh, well, nearly. Once it gets to about the top of there, this is about your limit where you can get to before the magnet will pull away. So you can see there's pretty much a full glass you can get out with this before you're going to lose the magnet strength on it as well, which was also a problem with the Mac Magic one as well. Yeah, so all in all, I do think it's the best version out there. Oh, the other con, sorry, is the weight in the bottle. Some people have said you can see the weight in the bottle. You can, but just by doing that, I really think that that's easily coverable. And to be honest, from a distance, even from a distance, you're not really going to notice that sat in the bottom of the bottle, in my opinion. So the weight is in the bottom of the bottle here. I don't think you can see it. Obviously, the weight's going to move up into the neck of the bottle as you're pouring it. If you're really worried about that, you can either cover it with your hand as you're pouring, or you could even put another water label on here if you really wanted to change the design, put a different label or something on just to cover it. All in all, we love it. We think it's the best one out there. Suma's done a fantastic job with this. If you want more information, contact me, ring me, message me. I use this personally, so I can give you any help that you need. Speak to you soon.